Hello everyone, and welcome to my Create with Jeannie's Friday happy hour of stamping. I'm really excited to share with you today more cards that I've created with the 12 by 12 designer series paper. I know if you are like me, you probably have a lot of stash of that paper, and this series of cards that I've been creating the last couple of weeks is just a way to help you use up that paper. With the new annual catalog coming, I know I have a lot of paper that I'd like to use up and make room for some of the new designer series paper that's coming out. I want to thank you for stopping by, whether you're watching me live today or you're watching the recording. I hope that you enjoy the cards that I'm going to be creating. Hi Kim, hi Rhonda. Thank you guys for joining me. Today I'm going to be featuring two different designer series paper. This one right here is True Love. It's a black and white pack of paper. It's really a lot of fun because you can just add color to it. You can use it as it is, mix and match it with all kinds of different colors that you like. So, hi Rosemary. The other paper I'm going to be using is the Sand and Sea. So the Sand and Sea cards I've already created, and I will be sharing those along with the ones that I'm going to be making today. Hi Deanna. All right, so let's get started. One thing I told you last week is that I was going to share a sneak peek of something new from the catalog. And I'm going to be using two new ink colors here. This one is Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. And then I'm also going to be using the Color and Contour stamp set, which is my May featured stamp set for my card kit. So I'm excited about that. I'm also going to bring in some of the Stampin' Blends. This year, or with these new ink colors, we have the Stampin' Blends in all 5 colors, so I'm really excited about that. All right, so let me bring that aside. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is cut our designer series paper. So I am taking one sheet of 12 by 12, and I'm going to be able to make both cards out of this. So the first card, I'm going to cut my paper at 4 inches. Let me see if I can get this up here a little bit better. Maybe bring it down. Okay, well I am going to cut this piece at 4 inches by 12 and go all the way. Next, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to be using my scoring blade, which is this gray one right here. And I'm going to score it at 1 1/4. And then move it to 4 1/4. And then all the way to 9 1/2. All right. Now I do have those measurements right up here in the corner. So this is the card 1. Let me put card 1 here. There you go. And now we'll go ahead and let's fold our designer series paper. One of the neat things about doing this fold and using designer series paper is that you can choose how you want the look to be. So I have folded it, and then folded this one back. So what is on the inside is what's on this flap right here. Now if I wanted to reverse that, I could just flip it over, and then we're going to have it look like this. So you really get to play with it and have some fun with it. One of the neat things about this fold too that I really like is that you can have your card open like this, or you can turn it and have your card open like this. You can even do it from the side and have it open like that. As long as your designer series paper is all directions, you're going to be totally fine to move it around. If not, you might just have to go the direction that you cut your paper, which is totally fine too. All right, let me get my pieces here. Actually, I think I'm going to show you my card first. This is the card that I'm going to be creating. And I opened it up like that. This is a new die. It comes with the Color and Contour bundle. And this die right here on the front is with that. It's a really fun set of dies. As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab them really quick right now to show you. So it comes with 5 different frames. This one here is actually the size of perfect background for our standard card. And then we have all the different layers coming down. And then there's also this scallop one, which is really a lot of fun. All right, so let's get building. I'm going to be using a piece of black cardstock, and this one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I just dropped my flowers. There we go. All right, and I'm going to adhere this card down. Now I want to go back, and I'm going to be using the striped side like that because I want to color this right in here. I'm going to color a few in, but I'm not going to color them all in. I really like using the Stampin' Blends to change the color of things. They work great doing designer series paper. You can change the color of ribbon. So if you have a spool of white ribbon, you can color that. You can color our pearls, our rhinestones, just about anything with the Stampin' Blends. What's nice is that we do have a lot of accessories that coordinate with, you know, several of our colors and that, but sometimes there's that color missing that you really want. And so by using the Stampin' Blends, you're able to color in. Now this paper, I'm going really quickly in here. I'm not doing anything fancy with shading or anything like that. I really just wanted to have a little bit of color instead of having it totally black and white. So that's what I'm doing, just filling this in. Now, if you were doing this on a thinner paper, something that you might be able to see through on this back side, you want to make sure you put a piece of paper or something in there because the Stampin' Blends do soak through. On this, it won't matter. It will be just fine. Oops, I need to get a few more over here. Some up here. Let's add a few leaves. Hi, Kit. Okay, now this I'm using the brush tip, but you can also use the bullet tip. So your Stampin' Blends have 2 different ends. This one here with the fine line is going to be more of a bullet, so you have a little bit more control. And this one here is a brush tip, which really works great when you're doing larger areas. For doing these small areas, like doing these leaves, I think that the bullet tip actually really works better. So I'm put that one back out here instead of the brush tip. All right, let's just do a couple more flowers in here. As I said, I'm just doing this super quick just for you guys to get the idea of having some color on it. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. There's a few that are white, but that's okay. There's definitely white daisies. So we can do that. All right, let's fold that back up now. So here we go. I'm going to come on the back and use some of my Seal Plus. It's one of my favorite adhesives. It's very, very sticky. And so you don't need a lot. You just need to put about 1 inch in all your corners. And that will set it up. All right, there we go. So now if you got really fancy, you could go on the inside and you could color these flowers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it black and white there. It might be kind of fun to just kind of highlight a few flowers, sprinkle them around that you want to color. So this piece right here of black cardstock is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And then I'm going to just adhere down this die. This is just our regular basic white cardstock. There we go. So that is going to be the inside of my card. Now I'm going to use some of our new, this is Pale Papaya. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, it's just super, super soft. It's really easy to tie. And kind of, I don't want to say linen, but it's like a twill tape, I guess. I think that's what it's probably, I'm trying to say, a twill tape. It has a little white edge on it. And I'm just going to tie a knot right here. And then let's go back and trim. Now I didn't make one of my cards doing this, but if you wanted to, let's say, have this as a pocket card, I could have wrapped the ribbon all the way around and then left this loose, and then that could come out. So if you wanted to like put an invitation on it, or you wanted to maybe put a photo on it and have it something someone can save afterwards, that would be a great idea. And I'm definitely gonna have to do that because I think that would be fun to do. All right, I'm gonna bring in my smaller die here, and I'm going to use the black StazOn ink. And the sentiment that I'm using is right here on the Color and Contour stamp set. It's thinking of you, thank you for everything. I'm sorry, thank you for everything. It has so many fun little sayings. And one of the things that's neat about this stamp set, and you'll see when I use it on the next card, is that it's a two-step. So we have our outline and then we have our fill. Have an outline and we have our fill, plus this little background right here. So the stamp set really comes with a lot that you can use for a lot of different cards. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna put my sentiment right here at the top. Now I will say I re-inked my StazOn earlier today. I found that when your StazOn starts getting sticky and it's not, when you go to stamp it down, it kind of sticks to your paper. That's when you know that it is time for you to re-ink your StazOn, because the stickiness means there's not enough ink on there. You do want to be careful that you don't overfill it, because then your words will kind of run. But all right, so here we go. I am going to put this right up here on the top. So let me move this over just a smidge. When I adhere this down, I only want to adhere to this part right here, the bottom, so that I don't seal it closed. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to add some dimensionals about halfway down. And you're going to see something in just a moment, because I realize that I am actually putting it together the opposite. When I did the card for the sample, I did it going the other way. So I'll show you that when I'm done here. All right, so I'm making sure this is down, this is on top, and then I'm going to bring this in and just press it down right there. So it's going to open like that. Okay, now I have punched a couple daisies from our medium daisy punch, and I did them in the pale papaya and the fresh freesia. I'm going to hold it from the center, and I'm just going to go ahead and curve my flowers just to give them a little fluff. I think that this punch goes really well with the stamp set, because to me, the outline image of the flower just reminds me of a daisy. And then this paper just seemed like it had a whole bunch of daisies on it. So I'm bringing together 3 different, types of things to make one project. I like to mix and match. I'm not one to stay, I love Stampin' Up! Sweets, and I do go with them a lot, but I also really love the idea that you can take any of the products and you can just mix them and match them, and don't always feel like you have to stick to what the catalog shows you or what I show you. Have some fun, mix it up a little bit. I'm using glue dots, and there we go, I'm just adhering them. So now my daisy is a little bit fluffier. And then I am going to bring in a dimensional for the back of each of these. Get that going. I think I'm going to add one flower there and one flower up there. And then these dots, there are plain with pattern dots, and they coordinate with some different paper. But I really thought that when I used them with these 2 colors that they blended great. So they're not exact, but they definitely blend well. So I'm going to take the larger one. Maybe I'll use the pokey end. And I'm going to use them as the center of my flowers. And add that one in there. There we go. And then let's add a couple more. Scatter a few up here. There we go. All right. So here are the two cards. As you can see, this one opens this way, and this one opens this way. So it really doesn't matter which way you do it. They come out just fine both ways. All right, so that is card one. Now let me show you a card that I designed with the same layout, but it is with our sand and sea paper. So I used that same label here. I stamped and die cut out one of the sand dollars and then just cut this one from the designer series paper. This is our Bumblebee gingham ribbon. Oops. And then on the inside of this one, I stamped some of the shell images and again the sand dollar. So it's the same layout, but just totally changed because I'm using different paper. These right here remind me of bubbles under the water. Those are our opal rounds, and I think it just adds a little touch. And I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it closer. I spattered a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo marker up here, so it gives me a little spattered look. It kind of reminded me of the background right there. All right. Now I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in. See if I can make sure I get it in here right. Now this one, I am going to cut at 5 1/4 inches. Oops, I used my scoring blade. All right, and then I'm going to rotate it, and I am going to score at 1 1/2, making sure I move this blade out because I don't want to cut my paper. So I've got 1 1/2, 4 1/2, and then 7 1/2. This card, again, you're able to fold it and go whichever direction you want. And I actually need to trim off the end. It's not supposed to be 12 inches. It's supposed to be 11 1/2 inches. And I do have that written right here. I just didn't follow my own directions. But that's okay. I'm just going to trim off a 1/2 inch right here on the end. All right. So we can fold it going this direction, or we can fold it going this direction. So you can really do either way. I'm going to do mine this direction, just like that. So I'm going to take my bone folder, I'm going to give it a little bit better creases here. And this one, I'm trying to keep the cards really simple, so I'm not doing a lot of fancy stuff. I'm just trying to do teach you the folds, and then you can go crazy and you can make yours really fancy. Now I kind of had to adhere these closed when I was taking pictures because they kept blowing in the wind. Now I just kind of tore up my paper, but okay, so this one I did this direction, and it opens up like that. There's my nice tear. Oh well. And I'm going to show you how I put it together. All right, let's get started here. Again, we're going to use our card base. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I am going to just adhere this down. Now, one of the reasons I like these cards is they go together so quickly. Now, I'm not adhering any of this down with adhesive, but I'm going to take my ribbon and wrap it around the first 2 folds. And then I'm going to tie a knot. So let me just get a piece here and I can trim this off. Actually, before I tie that, I'm going to show you this too. So my card is going to open up like this. Okay, so these two are going to stay together. Now, if you don't want that to happen, you can go ahead and just put your ribbon around here. And if you had this piece on here and you had your ribbon, then when you open your card, it's going to go like that. Okay, so you can do either way. Actually, I put it right there. You can kind of have it open either way. And I think for showing you today, I think I'm going to go ahead and do my second card that way, just so you see that there's a different way that you can do it. There's not one right way. There's lots of ways you can do it. So I'm just tying this in a knot right here. Again, this is our new color, Pale Papaya. I hope you guys don't all buy this ribbon out because it's definitely one of my favorites. I love it. Okay, make sure I get that in there well. All right, so now on the inside I have a piece of card, move that back there. I have a piece of black cardstock that is 2 3/4 by 5, and then this one is 2 1/2 by 4 3/4. I'm going to bring my StazOn back in. Got some on my fingers. Make sure I don't get that on anything. And now I'm going to stamp a couple of flowers. So this stamp is from the Colors and Contour stamp set. There we go. Now let's get some on the front. Go. And then we still have the sentiment to go, so let's add that on there while we're at it. Okay, it's a little juicy. I'm going to give it just a little bit of time to dry, and then we are going to fill in those daisies. All right, so this is our solid image that is going to stamp inside. I found once I started doing it, there's kind of a trick to having it match up. And if you notice, there's a single one here and a single one there, and that is kind of where we are going to go with matching it. Let's see which way is the right way. Okay, I think it goes this way. I think I need to mark my stamp. All right, I think that's it. Make a little dot on there or something so I know like that's the top. I've really just started playing with it, so I haven't done that yet. All right, there's that guy again. We'll do one more. I feel like my hand's all shaking here. I'm trying not to put my head under the camera. Hopefully I'm not. There we go. And I'm just going to clean that off. There we go. And then let's bring in the Pale Papaya for our other one. All right, let's move this back around there. I think it's going this way. I definitely need to make a mark on here so that, there we go. And in all actuality, it doesn't really even matter if you match it up exact, because it's not exact. It's kind of a watercolor look, so it's made to just kind of flow on there. So you don't have to stress over it, just kind of have fun with it. Now I'm going to also add in a little bit of Wink Estella, because why not have a little shimmer in our flowers? I think they're so pretty. I think I said at the beginning that the Color and Contour is my stamp set of the month for my card kit. And I will be heading to Maui in just a couple weeks for an incentive trip I earned with Stampin' Up. And so all of my classes are going to be before I leave. And so I've had to make the deadline for this class May 5th or May 4th. That way I'll be able to order on the very first day of the catalog and make sure that I have plenty of product to fill for all of your kits. All right. Now my creative card class that has always been the 3rd week of the month is going to be the 2nd week of the month. And you know, that's a little bit crooked on there. Let's see if I can pull it up gently. One of the things I really like about our new seal adhesive is it's very forgiving. Like if you make a mistake or you don't get it quite centered or something, you can usually peel it off if you haven't, you know, kind of run it through the press. If you've just kind of lightly put it on there, you should be fine. All right, I am going to add this right in here. And then on this piece, I'm just going to run adhesive all the way on here, just because I want to make sure there's plenty holding that down. And then, oops, that's a little crooked there too. Let me just straighten that out. I'm going to actually bring it down just a little bit there. And then I can bring my ribbon down a little bit too. Now I did have, here we go, a piece of our black and white baker's twine. This comes with our Playful Pets ribbon combo. I love it. One of the fun things about it, it's this twine, and then there's also some red like stitched ribbon. So it's great to have as just extra ribbon, and it's going to be staying in our new catalog, so that's awesome. All right, now I want to add a couple more of those embellishments on there because why not use them? They're fun to use, and I think the colors look really good. So I'm just going to add, let's see, I have a spot there. Got a piece of ink, a little bit of ink there, so let's cover that up. And then I think I'm going to bring another one. Let's see, why don't I go ahead and add these in the centers. Sometimes it's hard when, I didn't want to color the centers in black because I thought that would be just a little too harsh. So I'm just using these instead. We'll open that up and we can put one in here. And you know what, let's add a couple more. I bought these when the catalog first came out, and I hadn't really used them, and now that I found they kind of coordinate with these colors, I've been using them a lot. All right, so let's look at both of our cards now. They're basically the same card. This one, however, though, is hooked right here, so it doesn't open up. But what's neat about that is you could slide a gift card right in here, so it'd be a great little gift card holder. You could also put an extra note in there. You could put money in there. This one here is going to open up like this. I think this type of card is really cool because I think right here and right here, if you wanted to send pictures, it would be awesome. So very happy for you. And then let's say you had an event and you could just go ahead and put some pictures in there too. Or you could close it up like this one. All right, now let me grab the Friends Are Like Seashells. Here's another one that I did, really similar to the card earlier. I cut out some of the designer series paper. I embossed and then die cut out the sand dollar, and I added some more of those opal rounds there. This one again, I did connect, and then it opens up this way. All right, so those are the cards for today. Let me just mark card 2 right here. So if you go back and you're watching the video, there we go. You have the measurements right down here on the board. Now, if you're interested in placing an order for any of the supplies, once I'm done, I'm going to be putting a supply list right on the video page. And so you'll have all the products that I used today. This is my host code right here. And anyone that places an order between now and Sunday is going to be getting one of my fun fold cards I've been creating the last couple weeks. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me. The new catalog does go live on May 4th, which is just a few days away. So if you have a chance to check online, there's a lot of great product in the clearance rack and a lot of great product that's retiring, and some of it's discounted very much. So you can order through May 3rd on the annual catalog. And then our mini catalog, or our January through June catalog that we have, that one's going through June 30th. But as we get closer, things are going to be selling out, so you might want to hop on any product that is something you really don't want to miss out on. Well, thank you all very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.